G'day folks, Corey Hinde. I hope you're doing really well. This is still a really important thing to focus on for your business, which is local SEO, Google Business Profile, being found right up the top of Google. Now, this changes all the time. So we've been doing this for several years now, and the methodologies have changed, the focal points have changed, the whole thing has changed quite a lot. So what I'm going to do is walk you through this checklist we've got for business owners. So this one is designed so that you as a business owner can do this yourself without a hell of a lot of technical skill or knowledge, and without having to outsource much, and without having to spend on things. I'm just going to squash myself out of the way so I can focus on the content. So the article I'm using as the guide for this is on our Substack suppository. So I will get that on the description below. The link will be there so you can read that and ask us questions in the comments as well. We're a pretty open book. This system is pretty much 90% of what we do for clients. So if you're in a small town or a region and you've got a few competitors and you apply this knowledge and do it consistently for a period of several months, like most things, it's simple, but it requires consistent work to do it. So the hard part is doing the work consistently and not forgetting about it. So you know by now that if you're in any sort of competitive space, Wellington Mortgage Brokers, you're going to look around, you're going to see a few listings up the top. Boom, that's a client of ours. You're probably going to look up here before you look at the organic listings down here. Likewise for us, SEO agency Tauranga, which is where we are, people look up here before they look down here. So local SEO is still really, really important. As another marketer said to me, hey, you up the top here, you're going to get some random ones as well. Yep, we get that too, but I'd rather the phone ringing or people coming to us than not at all. Likewise, if you're looking for organic food, you're going to see this. You're going to see this type of a setup. You're going to see listings up the top on the map pack. There's enough information there to make a decision and make a purchase. So that's why we focus on it. Now, local SEO to me is for businesses that serve a defined area, usually something like your location and then a radius of about 10 miles, 15 kilometers around that business, maybe a bit bigger. However, for service area businesses where you service the whole town, still really, really useful because the Google Business Profiles apply for those businesses too. So let's get right into it. This video will take a while. So sit down, grab a coffee, grab a tea, and come back to it at any time. I've got some notes here as well, which will add on to this. So look, the first thing is I'm going to go to point 3 for starters, which is optimizing your Google Business Profile. Now, this has been documented a lot. So 3 or 4 years ago, all you really had to do to rank your Google Business Profile up the top of Google was to optimize the profile itself. Now, there's a link here. You can click on that. That'll take you to a document. Let's click on that now. There is a checklist you can work through. Okay, there's a checklist that you can work through. Boom, 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 boom. Do all of that stuff. And that's a good starting point. And years ago, that's all you had to do. Our previous course that we've done was more or less that, and expanded so that you knew which parts of the profile to optimize. But really, suffice to say, most industries, most areas now have several businesses doing this well. So just optimizing your Google Business Profile is nowhere near enough these days. And it's not difficult to do. If you just go to business.google.com, open up your Google Business Profile and follow the prompts that it gives you, it will walk you through the process. And even if you start a new profile, it'll walk you through the process. It's pretty much idiot-proof to walk through that now. Every time you open your Google Business Profile, there will be little postcards on the bottom that Google says, hey, do this, hey, do that. Do that stuff as well. They'll always prompt you to buy some Google ads as well. That's probably why Google Business Profile exists, is to help them sell ads. That's what Google is. It's a great big giant advertising platform. So you've got to accept that and work with it. So step 3 is to work through that Google Business Profile, make sure it's optimized. At the moment, we know that getting Google reviews is really, really important. So, you won't go to a category and see that if we, for example, go back to Wellington Mortgage Brokers, Michael's account here has more reviews. Sorry, this one has the most. Michael's has 314. This one has no reviews, but is still there. So this shows that the number of Google reviews is not because there's loads of mortgage brokers in Wellington. So the number of Google reviews is important, but it's not the most important thing. As 2024 has rolled on, it seems that this line is super important. Regular reviews are more important than total review count. So you need to systemize your business so that every client, every customer has an opportunity to leave you a Google review. Think of it this way. If you found a Google business profile for something and there's no reviews for a year, what would you think? Personally, I'd think they're closed. I'd think they're out of business or something's gone horribly wrong, and I'd keep looking. So Google knows that people want to see regular reviews and they reward those people. So getting good, regular, real reviews is super important. Side note, there are people who sell fake reviews online. You can buy fake reviews. That's probably the dumbest thing you can do in the world, because Google will figure that out and your entire business will be wiped off Google. So never do that. You've got to build a system where you're getting real reviews from real customers. You might email people a week later to ask for feedback. If that's positive, flick them your Google Business Profile link. You might build a checklist to take on site if you're doing lawn mowing or building services or electrical services. Work through the checklist with the client to make sure it's a safe environment. And at the bottom, there's a QR code that you scan that asks them to leave a review. There are many ways to do this. And what I've learned after doing this for many years now is that you only really need one of these to work for you to be winning. So whether it's a feedback email or you've manually phoned people or you have a QR code on the counter of your store or whatever it is, you only need one thing. So get busy with that. Now, we've also noticed in this year and possibly a little bit last year was that lots of people, and certainly older people, do not have a Google account. Sometimes they do, but they don't realize that they do. They don't use Gmail. They might use Outlook or Yahoo. They don't use YouTube. So they either don't have a Google account, a Gmail account, or they're not aware that they've got one. So when you send them a link, they're not logged on to Google. So they click on it and it's too hard for them, or they don't want to do it, or whatever. Now, we've also noticed that this is a big part of the algorithm going forward and has been for a while, is that other third-party reviews are fine. So when you go to some Google business profiles, you'll see that it draws in Facebook reviews or TripAdvisor or Trustpilot or Capterra. There's loads of independent third-party review platforms that are useful as well. And the reason that we talk about Facebook is because I'm in New Zealand. I work with clients in New Zealand, Australia, a couple of other countries, and I'm finding that very, very often the people who don't or won't leave a Google review do have a Facebook account that they're on all the time because they're watching the family, or they're keeping in touch with the family, they're keeping in touch with the grandkids, whatever. So they're quite often on Facebook. So if you give them a secondary option of a Facebook review, they'll take that up. And Google still sees that, pulls that through. Google's changed this year in that they're paying a lot more attention to trusted social partners like LinkedIn, Google, etc. So a Facebook review, I'm saying, and this is just a made up number, but I'm saying that a Google review is like 1 point and a Facebook review is like half a point in the algorithm. Other things, if you're in travel, then TripAdvisor is probably worth a half point. If you're in the restaurant space, there's other platforms that are also worth a half point. But we did publish an article on that, which is a bit more in depth. So if you go there, why should you chase Facebook reviews? That will tell you a bit more about it. But suffice to say that you should aim to get a review from people. It's a very important part of the game, because as time's gone on, people have been doing the other parts of local SEO. They've been getting the on-page SEO optimized. They've been talking about local things on their website so that Google knows where they are. So the reviews are really, really important. Facebook reviews are a great secondary option. So think about that. Optimizing your Google business profile, we mentioned at the start, but again, just log in, do all of the stuff, make sure it's accurate, fill in as many parts as you can, and when Google makes a suggestion to do something, think about doing that as well, okay? Add new services, describe those services, that's really important. Get lots of photos into your Google Business Profile. Heck, we've even had a couple of clients this year where we've installed a social media sharing tool called Publer.io. And the reason for that is we simply get them to log on to that every week. And they've attached Publer to their Google Business Profile plus their Facebook page. And they'll upload images of their work. So before and afters or whatever images they've got of their work. They'll upload reviews. So they'll go and make a little infographic looking thing out of a review and upload that as well as an image onto the Google Business Profile and the Facebook page, for example. And just super basic Q&A. Every business has 10 to 20 questions which come up again and again and again. And remember that Google is kind of like a giant Q&A program thing, tool. So if you're feeding it answers to questions, they do like that. There's featured snippets, there's all these sections up the top of Google that Google wants to keep you looking at rather than sending you away to websites. So if you answer questions, that's really useful. So make sure you do use the updates section of Google Business Profile. Some people say that is not a ranking factor these days. I disagree, because I think that every time you log on to your Google Business Profile and do something, Google is aware that you're there and they like to reward people for using Google tools. Likewise, the next point. So installing reviews and maps on your website. Now, some time ago, people realized that social proof is really, really important for business. At the end of the day, if you need something, you're going to ask a friend, hey, who do you recommend? So we know that we're pack animals. We know that we listen to our friends' advice. We know that we need social proof. So back in the beginnings of the internet, people would put reviews on their website, which is still really important. However, there's a slight risk that those reviews are made up. They're not real. People do that too, unfortunately. So what I strongly recommend is you put your Google reviews onto your website. So if you look at this one, this is the map pack listing that's on the website. We'll talk about that in a moment. But WordPress, for example, there's several widgets that you can install on your WordPress website. I'm going to pause and I'll show you one. So I'm back. For example, if you go to our website, you'll see that we've got this widget down the bottom. So it's really, really awesome. I think this is the Rich Plugins. We've also used Trust Index before, but Rich Plugins is really cool. It's definitely Google branded. You can see the Google branding. People can flick through and look at the reviews and read them, which is really awesome. So they go, oh yeah. In fact, you might have even seen some of these people around the internet, so you trust them. You go, oh, I know who that person is. I know who that person is. Blah blah blah. And then also people can write a review directly there. This is the Trust Index one, sorry. So Trust Index is good. We've installed Rich plugins on quite a few customers' websites this year. So this allows you to add reviews if you're a customer, but it also allows people to scroll through. So we really like that because, social proof, but we also believe and have proved in the past that if you've got more Google affiliated stuff on your website, Google likes that. So get your reviews on your website. The more social proof you get for your business, the more social proof you get on your website, the better you'll always go. Likewise, the Google Map Pack listing. So when you look at this one for Mike, the mortgage broker, at the bottom of his website, you can actually see the map listing there. So we know that that works because we've been doing it for people and we've ranked them really well. You can click on View Larger Map. You can click on the reviews, all sorts of stuff. We usually put it on the Contact Us page because sometimes people are actually going to see that business and they want to know where they are, and they can use that directly. So this is standard operating procedure for us now, has been for a while. We do it for all clients, and it's way better than any other review idea or anything else in terms of map listings, directions and things on the website. So do that too. Now, this next step for best practice for the moment is a shortcut step. So what we actually do in our agencies, we have a contractor who does this. So they go and build business directories, business citation listings for the business. So we send them a note to say, here's the client, Here's their name, here's their address, here's their phone number, here's their website, here's their Google Business Profile link, here is their Facebook page, etc. And they continually build citations and links. What you can do, if you're doing this yourself, is just go to ChatGPT and type this in. Please list the top 10 business citation websites for your country or your town or your industry, your town. Do that, just have a look at them to make sure they seem legit and go around doing that work, because this is in that realm of backlinks and it's a really important thing. Google looks at all the signals around the internet for who you are and where you are. So they look at your Facebook page, they look at your website for address details, location details. They look at business citations. Now, there is a chance as well that business citations could be places where you get direct leads for your business, which is the end goal of all of this stuff, is direct leads for your business. We do this more for the SEO signals because we know that there are certain directories that Google looks at and takes very seriously in terms of the information there. So they're looking for signals about who you are, where you are. So we know that this is an important step. We've got other links that we do as well. So I'll expand on that a bit now, because why not? So we kind of have three types of links that we get when we start a local SEO campaign for a business. We have normal citations. So if you're in New Zealand, think yellow.co.nz, Neighbourly. If you're international, think Yelp. Any of those types of sites where there's an opportunity to build a listing. We build all those listings. Then we either add, this is another type of link, we add the Google Business Profile link as well, or we build other citations and links to the Google Business Profile link instead of the website. So we build links to both. That's one of our little tricks that we learned a couple of years ago, was that as we started to build links to clients' Google Business Profile link as well as their website, they started to rank better. Now, the other type of link that we do is just your normal backlinks. So, for example, if it's a local SEO client, we might offer to sponsor the local school's newsletter as long as we get a link back for that. Sometimes we will find blog articles that are local and we can buy a link in there, or we can write stuff which helps get links back to that website. So for example, we might review other businesses that they partner with in the area, and then they'll link back to us. There's a load of ways we get backlinks. We've published quite a bit about backlinks on our blog and our YouTube channel, so look around for that. But getting good local backlinks is a key part of this as well. So once you've done all this initial setup, now at the bottom of the video we'll talk about, this step 6 has been the main thing to keep going with. But actually, if you've got time, one of the things we do for clients is we sit there every single month and we strategize. How else can we get a backlink? Look, we have an electrical client in Auckland and they do collaborative work with partners. So they'll do an electrical install for a shop fit out with a project manager, a builder, a developer, and they'll write articles about that process and sometimes get backlinks from those businesses. So we strategize, how can we get more local backlinks to keep sending messages to Google about who we are and where we are, because we know that it works. Right, so I could talk about backlinks all day. Backlink process as an SEO person is slow and it's hard, but it's worth it, as most things are in the SEO space. If it's slow and hard, it's probably worth it. Okay. Now, step 6 is to do the Q&A process on social platforms. So I alluded to this just before, which was to, look, just go back a step. I'm assuming that you've done, you've got social platforms, you've got a Facebook page, you've got a Twitter account or an Instagram account or whatever. You've done your on-page SEO for your website. You've done all that stuff, right? So then, and we've got a video about this, and this video was developed for clients of ours to either A, do themselves, or B, hire a virtual assistant or even one of their teenage kids or whatever to do for them. Because once you've set up this platform, the actual work is really easy. Okay, so if you go to this video, it talks about using publer.io, but it doesn't have to be that. It can be any social media platform, and we talked about this above. And really the idea is link it up to a few social platforms that you use and simply get things out there. Answer questions. Talk about things that you've done. Post some reviews, put some images out there, before and afters. You just got to keep going with the stuff because it sends signals to Google, but it also helps build your profile on those places. And really, if we're in the game of local SEO and you get a client from Facebook, from a local community group, then that's still a lead. That's still a really useful thing. I've alluded to it there, and I'll probably tell a bit more about it because I think it's useful. We highly recommend that clients get family member or even a paid VA to shout them out in local Facebook community groups. We do it for clients. Our local group, we have a lawn mowing client in the city we're in, and people say, "Oh, who do you recommend for lawn mowing?" And we'll just go in, we'll grab their map, their Google Business Profile URL or their website, dump it there, and go, "We recommend this guy." Because we do. He's a good dude, does good work. Hasn't mowed my lawn, but I've seen lawns he's mowed, and I personally recommend him. Yeah, he's a client as well, but that's okay. When people are asking for a recommendation, that's our recommendation. So there's loads of things you can do on those social platforms that will help you with your local SEO. And this wasn't that important in the beginning of Google Business Profile because you just had to optimize the site, make sure the website itself and the Google Business Profile were connected, post some local stuff, and boom, you're up the top. But now it's getting harder. So this sort of stuff is really, really important. So the next step is, keep working on step 6. Step after that is probably make sure that you are on our Substack list so that you get updates. Next step is, if you're stuck and you want to outsource it, ask us to do it by getting in touch. Really, that's it. Across this video, across our YouTube channel, and across our content on Facebook, really all of the current best practices are there. Like anything, you can do your own landscaping or you can hire a landscaper. They will probably do it better than you, but it'll cost. We're exactly the same. You can do it yourself. You can hire us. We don't mind sharing this information because it helps our brand, it helps us grow. If you do have questions on this process or this video now, pop them in the comments below, and I promise I'll answer that question. And we'll have a few more resources in the description that will be useful as well. All right, thanks for watching. Good luck, and we will talk soon. Bye for now.